So, yeah, I'm back here to talk about the situation. Um, I may have made it sound like a little. I think no, I definitely did make it sound like it was better than it was when I posted the previous videos. Um, because at night I tend to be more, I guess, optimistic because the day's over and anything bad that could happen has already happened. Whereas it's still the afternoon. It's like 2:10 in the afternoon, 2:15 I think, somewhere around there. So like there's still plenty of day for, something bad to happen. um which is how I think, which is not great. I think as a mindset in general. But anyway, I mean my dad is still effectively kicking us out. Um we're still going, if we don't need, do XYZ, we're gonna be, evicted. And he's making us do XYZ because he rejected all these perfectly good offers that my mother made him to buy him out in the first place, of this house. And it's just, and yet, I feel that what's happening to me right now is somehow my fault. Um, I just, he's the one who did what he did. He's the one who left my mother and me and took my sister with him after brainwashing her. And they've been plotting for over a year, like I think I said in other videos. Um, and it's just really, and yeah, and yes, my mom was the one who filed for divorce, but she only did that because my dad, left her. And I know, abandonment or neglect or whatever isn't like a cause for divorce anymore, at least as of October 2023. But like, I mean, the way he left, it made it impossible that like they would get back together. Like he got an apartment, granted it was only a mile away, but he got an apartment. He signed like a 2 year lease, I think. Yeah, or no, a 1 year lease. Leases are generally 1 year. He signed like a 1 year lease, so he was intending, I think, to leave her for good, but he didn't. I guess he didn't want to be the one to have to instigate the divorce. Um, yeah, yeah, he basically deserted my mom. He cut her off from the money. Um, he put a stop order on their accounts. And the only thing my mom had was a credit card. And he had also done a lot of things to just like ruin her, reputation and stuff. Like, and he portrayed her as like this, you know, criminal almost. Like, he thought that my mom had Munchausen's by proxy because my mom was taking my sister to so many doctors, even though I think my sister really needed to see those doctors. And it wasn't fun for my mom. And then my dad alleges that my mom took Catherine to a bunch of unnecessary surgeries, which were in fact all necessary and medically recommended. She had her adenoids removed. There are like things in your sinuses. She had her tonsils removed because she had like recurrent strep, I think. And then she had like this weird little benign tumor in her hand removed too. That was like, I think, painful, or at least like not ideal to have there. So she needed all these things, and I guess my dad just couldn't handle it, so he made up this lie that my mom had Munchausen's by proxy, and it just he didn't. But the bottom line is, my dad did not have to leave my mom. There was no reason why he had to leave her, unless he was, the only thing that would make it, I guess, okay with me is if, he had stopped having any feelings for her or whatever. But even I don't think that's true. Um, I think he still has feelings for her. Even if he pretends that he doesn't. But anyway, I just feel like this whole thing, like, it's all my fault. Like, even though he's the one who did all of this, I should have been the one, I should have been able to work with my mom to fight what, what he did a long time ago. Um, to fight what he did to her and in the divorce agreement and all his lies. I should have done that a long time ago. But it's not, it's not really my fault though, because, like, he was the one who started all of this to begin with. Like, why do I have to, like, shoulder all the burden of this? Or at least I feel like I'm shouldering them. I know my mom is the one who's actually really shouldering the burden, but, like, I shouldn't have had to have been engaged in work like this to begin with. It's only because of my dad. I truly blame my dad for a lot of what has gone wrong with my life. And why I, like, haven't really built a life, because I've had to spend so much time, thinking about him and what he's doing or what he might do. Like, he's like scary and kind of capricious. And like I said, he lies, and it's just very, very annoying that I am gonna get thrown out on the street, and so is my mom, because my dad couldn't handle the fact that that his mom died at 14, and then, which is, okay, I get the grief about that, but then, his dad married her sister, I guess relatively quickly after she died, and my mom, my dad was convinced that his, aunt, now stepmother, was after his father's money, which I don't think was true. I don't think it was just the money with her. It's just, and now he thinks of my mom as his stepmother. And it's horribly infuriating that he was so wrapped up in himself that he couldn't be bothered to think about what was good for me or my mom or my sister.
Or even for him.
Or even for himself. That was my mom adding in that. Yeah, I forgot about that. Like, he's victimized himself in all of this. I think people, I think even the perpetrators of things like this are also victims. Like, they don't have the same moral status as a straight victim, but they are victims of the situations that they created. And they didn't have to suffer the way they did and make others suffer because of that. So, yeah, I'm just suffering because of my dad and his own neuroses and, his therapists, getting him to think about, what happened to him way too much, and, transferring all of his, hatred of his stepmother slash aunt, against my mom. And he would have done this to any woman that he married. And I think he would have done it regardless of what, of whether or not he had sons or daughters or any kids at all. So yeah, God, I would have hated to have been his son. Paul Joseph Zakola III. There were our worst names though. Anyway, yeah, it's still pretty bad. Like, we have more time, not much more time, but it's still pretty bad. And I hate this, and I wish he had just made me get a job and been okay with me getting a driver's license. Made me get a job and made me get a driver's license like a normal father does, like a normal stereotypical father in a sitcom does. Did he have no faith in me? I could keep going on and on, but that's probably best saved for, like, a therapist after all this is over. For however I come out of this, like, I definitely want to talk to somebody about this, even though it was therapists who I think in large part did a lot of the damage that was done to my dad, or at least they helped out with it. They legitimized a lot of his, fake a lot of his false claims. So anyway, yeah, it really sucks that I'm a victim of my father's neuroses. And just inability to see things as they are. So, yeah, like I said, like, I'm okay, but it's, the situation is still not great. There's still,
You're not okay
Yeah, I'm not gonna be okay for long though.
Yeah, we're set to go out on the street.
Yeah, we are. Yes, like my mom said, we are set to go out on the street per the court order by October 20th at the latest. And if the and you know when this house is listed, and if we're still living here, then you know the we're gonna have people coming in, and you know to see the house, and then if they make an offer on the house, then we have to leave. So it might even be sooner than that. You know, if we don't already have a place to live, and we have all this stuff, and I just hate this. I hate it so much. I hate it, and